Hello students, welcome to my class. Today we are going to talk about learning. Here there is two questions. First one is what is learning? A second one is what are the major characteristics of learning. So today you have to focus on these two questions. First one is what is learning? You all know that learning occupies a very important place in our life. Most of what we do or do not do is influenced by what we learn and how we learn it. Learning, therefore, provides a key to the structure of our personality and behavior. An individual starts learning immediately after his birth or, in a strict sense, even earlier in the womb of the mother. So let's continue. What is learning? Here, learning is a process of modification of instinctive behavior which enables us to adjust properly and effectively with the new environment. Learning is a process which modify an individual's behavior, actually instinctive behavior. Here, instinct define an unlearned form of activity which enables in animal or human being to deal competently with something in the environment without preliminary experience and practice. For your easy concern, instinct is like when you look something very wonder thing, like for example you had seen something a very big man, so your first reaction is that you are so curious to learn why the man is big and why is he is so big. Different types of question arise in your mind. You are so curious about this wonder thing or about this big man. So that is instinct. Instinct means the curiosity which is inherent in you after have looked towards that person, after seeing that person or that wonder thing, your curiosity will come to the society, will explore. That is actually instinct. Here, learning is a process of modification of those instinctive behavior which enables us to adjust properly and effectively with the new environment. That means learning focus actually to modify the human behavior that helps you to adjust properly and effectively with new environment. You can adjust in any environment because of learning. Okay students, I think you have small idea about learning. You get it. Okay, let's continue. Experience, direct or indirect, is found to play a dominant role in molding and shaping the behavior of the individual from the very beginning. When he touches a burning matchstick, the child gets burned, and the next time when he comes across a burning matchstick, he loses no time in withdrawing from it. He learns to avoid not only the burning matchstick but also all burning things. When this happens, we say that the child has learned that if one touches a flame, one gets burned. That means learning is that process which modify someone's behavior based on experience. If you experience, or if the child experience that if he touches the lamp or he touches the fire candle, he burned. If he burns, that means he learned that he will not touch that candle again, because his experience provide him a knowledge that it is flammable. So let's proceed towards the definitions of learning. The first one is, Edward Gates said that learning is the modification of behavior through experience and training. Here the definition said that learning is the modification of behavior through experience and training. Edward Gates was a very popular educationist, and he said that Modification of behavior through experience and training means learning. If your behavior is modified through your experience and by providing training, that means that is learning. Here there is another definition provided by a very popular educationist, Guilford. He said learning is any change in behavior resulting from experience. Again, he said the same word or same sentence said by Edward Gates, like learning is the modification of behavior, changes behavior resulting from experience. So experience have the power to change someone's behavior. Okay students, I think there is no doubt for you regarding the definitions. There is another definition given by Woodward. He said that any activity can be called learning so far as it develops the individual, maybe in respect of good or bad, and makes him alter behavior and experience different from what they would otherwise have been. Any activity called learning, maybe it is good or it is bad. It's up to you what you learn actually. Makes him alter behavior. If you learn good things, that means your behavior is good. If you learn the bad things, your behavior is good. So this is all about learning. So we learned that learning is the modification of behavior through experience. Here the characteristics of learning. First one is learning is a process, not a product. So what we get, that learning is a process, it's not a product. Second one is learning involves all those experiences and training of an individual right from birth which help him to produce changes in his behavior. The third characteristic is that learning leads to changes in behavior, but this does not necessarily mean that these changes always bring about improvement of positive development. One has an equal chance to drift to the negative side of human personality. So learning leads to both negative and positive changes in human. Another characteristic, that is learning prepares an individual for any adjustment and adaptation that may be necessary. So learning provides the platform based on which you can adjust in any platform in any environment, or you can adapt that environment as you want. Here there is another characteristic, that is the scope of learning is too wide to be explained in words. It is very comprehensive process which covers nearly all fields: cognitive, affective and cognitive or psychomotor of human behavior. So what we learn from this sentence or this characteristic is that learning had three dimensions, three domains. First one is cognitive, that is actually knowledge related. The cognitive domain contains learning skills predominantly related to mental processes like thinking. Learning processes in the cognitive domain include a hierarchy of skills involving processing information, constructing understanding, applying knowledge, solving problems and conducting research. So cognitive domain, or in case of cognitive facts, it is about knowledge. And the next one is affective. Most people think of learning as an intellectual or mental function. It's not only cognitive. However, learning is not just a cognitive function. You can also learn attitudes, behaviors and physical skills. The affective domain involves our feelings, emotions and attitudes. And lastly, the psychomotor or cognitive domain. Psychomotor objectives are those specific to discrete physical functions, reflect actions and interactive movements. It is interesting to note that while the cognitive taxonomy was described in 1956 and effective in 1964, the psychomotor domain were not fully discovered until the 1970s. And the psychomotor domain includes perception, set, guided response mechanism, complex over response, adaptation and origination. So this is all about these three fields of learning, because we get that the scope of learning is very wide. The last characteristic, that is learning is both individual and social. It takes place at both the level. You can learn anything based on your individuality, based on by talking in individually with someone, and also from society, from in different aspects of social life. So we are moving to the last characteristics, that is achievement in learning depends upon motivation and readiness. If you are properly motivated, if you are ready to learn, that means you will achieve something through your learning. If you want to really learn something, then you have to motivate yourself and you are always be ready to learn that things. So this is all about the characteristics of learning. So thank you students. If you found any doubts regarding today's class, then you can ask me without having any hesitation. Okay, thank you, bye bye.